Hello. Welcome back to Fundu Tester. This is a continuation of a Test Sigma tutorial. In previous sessions, we have seen how to automate web application without writing any single line of code. So we have completed one module. If you haven't watched that, you can find those videos in the description section and you can watch those videos. From now onwards, we are going to learn how we can automate APIs without writing any single line of code. We will see how we can try automate GET request, POST request, various HTTP methods, and we can perform end-to-end API test. We can validate the data. We can do the sequence test. For example, from one API we have to pass some data to the API 2. Then how can we do that to make a complete end-to-end flow? Apart from, we will see how we can generate a dynamic data and all this stuff, whatever day to day we are using for API automation. All these things we are going to perform on a Test Sigma no-code automation platform. Without any ado, let's get started. And before moving forward, don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Fundu Testers.
Camera rolling, action.
Now I am on a Test Sigma dashboard. This is how dashboard looks like, and we have seen in previous session of a web application how we can create a project for a web application. Similar way we can create a project for a API automation as well. So here we can see the option of create new, and there are multiple options: test case, requirement, or project. So I'm going to create a new project for a APIs. I'm giving a name API testing project. And while creating a multiple project, here we just need to take care of which application we are going to automate. So web application, mobile, iOS. So we can see all this stuff. Here we are going to automate a REST API. So we have to click on the REST APIs and create a project. So once project is created, we can see the project has been created, and from now onwards we can write a test cases here. Before moving forward, let's discuss about the HTTP methods. What are the HTTP methods available and how we can use, and what are the HTTP calls we can make. Here first of all we have 4 different kinds of HTTP methods. We can say it is CURD operation, and those APIs are GET, PUT, POST and delete. So first of all, what is a GET request or what is a GET API? So GET request can be cached. What does it mean? If your device is not connected with the internet and we are opening a Facebook or Instagram, we can see the feed and we can go to the profile, but still internet is not available. Still we can perform some operations, means we can view the data, not we can fetch new data or we can update the data, or we can't do anything, but whatever the data has been loaded, we can see all this data, which means data has been cached. So we can say that GET request is cached. Apart from that, GET request is allowed for a repeatable operation, which means we have posted something and we are seeing multiple times, we are refreshing the page and we are keep retrieving the data, and it is not going to impact on a server or anything. Nothing is going to happen on the backend side or a UI side. We are just fetching a data multiple times. So we can say that we can perform a GET operation multiple times or repeatedly. Apart from GET operation can be bookmarked. Apart from for sensitive data as ideal stuff, for ideal standard methodology, we are not going to use a GET request. Let's move to the POST request. So POST request cannot be cached, means whenever we are going to create a new data, once we have created the data, those data are not stored in the locally, like we are sending a mail. So once we have sent the mail, we cannot fetch the data. We have to go to the mailbox or send emails and we have to check that data. But while clicking on a send button, we have sent the data, we have triggered the POST request. So we cannot trigger the same request multiple times. So that's why POST request never be cached, and we cannot perform a repeatable operation. If we are going to perform a repeatable operations, means the same email, we are going to click on a multiple times send button, which means it will trigger a same email multiple times. A receiver will have multiple copies of the same email. Or otherwise, if we are going to perform a different operation, let's say we are uploading photos on Instagram or a Facebook, we are keep uploading the same photo, we are keep hitting on a post button multiple times, then it will generate a duplicate data multiple times if there are no validations, and if there are validations, then we will see resources already created cannot be created second time, which means we can perform post request only once. And apart from, there are no length of no restriction on a data length, and no repetitive operations. So let's move to the put request. So ideal purpose of a put request is to update the data, whatever data we have created so far, and we think we have to update something. So for to that we are using a post request, and ideally for a post request we can update multiple times, or like a get request we can hit post request multiple time. And what happens if we are hitting a post request multiple time? Basically it overwrites the data. So I have created my Instagram profile and I have kept name Nishant and last name as a Gohel. So again I am triggering post request multiple time. Name will be a common, Nishant and Gohel. It will be a same. So every time it will override the data. If I'm updating something, let's say I'm removing Gohel and updating Fundu tester, so it will be like Nishant Fundu tester. It will override the data. So again, second time I am hitting, it will remain same. It has overridden the already data. So criticality idempotent yes, and cacheable no. Similar to the post request, we cannot cache the put request. And lastly, we have a delete request. So delete request, again, to delete some resources. If we have created some resource and if we want to delete, then we are going to hit a delete request with the ID or some unique about that data. We have to pass unique parameter, and using that we can delete the request. But again, here like a get request, you can hit the delete request multiple times and there is no impact on a server or a data. Because what happens, let's say we are triggering delete request multiple times, then it has already deleted a first copy. So later on we don't have a copy of that particular resources. So what it will do, it will throw an error, but not generating a duplicate data or not generating not impacting any other data. It will simply throw an error. So we can hit put request, get request and delete request multiple times, but post request we cannot trigger multiple times, otherwise it will create a duplicate data on servers or somewhere database or wherever we are storing the data. So this is all basic about the get, post, put and delete request. And apart from, for a generic example where we are using these APIs in day-to-day operations, like let's say we are using Instagram, or we are using Facebook, or we are using a Twitter, or whatever applications we are using. Basically we are end of the day we are triggering a API. So let's take an example of a Instagram. Here we have post, put and get and delete operations we are performing unknowingly. How? Let's say we are uploading a photo on Instagram, so somehow we are triggering a post request. We have created some resource on Instagram, one photo which will have a unique ID and all that. So that is a post request. Once we have uploaded the photo and let's say we want to update the caption or text or whatever, something we need to update, so we are triggering a put request with a new caption or updated caption. And end of the day we have to check likes and how many people has commented on particular post. So for that we are triggering get request. We are going to the profile and we are keep refreshing the profile, just scrolling up, and we will see the photo will updated with the new likes and new comments. And now we can check how many people has liked, how many people has commented on particular post. And lastly, delete. So if no one likes our photo, definitely as a human we are going to delete the photo. So this is how we are going to perform all the basics operations on each and every application. So moving forward, in next session we are going to discuss how we can automate get request and post request on a test Sigma. So stay tuned with the Fundu tester, and don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Fundu testers. Thank you so much.